What is happening, everybody? So in today's vlog, we are going to address something which I think a lot of people will find very useful and a lot of people definitely have an issue with. Time and time again, I work with more and more clients, and one of the most common things obviously people get is lower back pain. And there's a few things I'm going to show you in this vlog that could help your lower back pain if you suffer from it a lot. And that could be an over excessive arch in your lower back, which is normally caused by a pelvic tilt. And there's a few easy things that we could do to correct that, and I'm going to show you in this video. So if you do suffer from some lower back pain, give it a try, see how you get on. I'm not saying it will sort out everybody's lower back pain, because it might not necessarily be because of that, but the majority of people, this is the reason, and it's normally due to posture reasons and excessive sitting. And I'm really adulting it today, as I've got my Toy Story water bowl. Yep, I'm unorganized and I'm using Arthur's water bowl as my water bowl. But hey ho, you got to do what you got to do. So, hope you enjoy this one and hope you learn a lot.
I just gotta take a break.
So one of the main reasons why people suffer with lower back pain through here, one of the most common things I see with a lot of the clients that I work with is pelvic tilt. So this is my pelvis in kind of a neutral position. If I rock it forwards like so, so you imagine it's rocking forwards, it's now tilted and it's out of whack, which is putting a lot of pressure through my lower back here. So the main causes of this tend to be very tight hip flexors. Okay, so what that causes, if they're tight and they're short, is it pulls your pelvis forward. So it pulls it into this position where your spine's going to be really overarched. Another reason is weak abdominals, particularly lower abdominals. If they're weak and they're stretched out, then this is tight down here, then again that's pulling that down. And weak glutes. So if your glutes are weak, then they're also not able to counter and pull that pelvis back into position. So if I stretch these out, strengthen this, and strengthen this, it's going to pull me back into this position. So everything is straighter, there's not such an excessive arch in my lower back, and it's not going to cause that pain, which a lot of people tend to get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through, I'm going to show you some exercises which are going to massively help with this. And people that tend to suffer from this the most, you imagine you're in this position, which is what, a sitting down position. So if you're sitting down for long hours of the day, all the time, then this muscle is going to get shorter and shorter and shorter. So that can be driving, sitting at a desk, sitting down at home. Just think about your lifestyle. Do you tend to do a lot of sitting, which has caused them to get short? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some exercises where you're going to stretch that out, strengthen your core, strengthen your glutes, so that you can hopefully sort that tilt out. So look at yourself in the mirror. Are you tilted like that? And can you rock it back into this position? Because that's where you want it, in that nice neutral. So there's a little curve there, but it's not excessive. Okay? And I'm going to show you some exercises so that you can get yourself into that position and hopefully try and get rid of that lower back pain. Like I said, this isn't the reason for everybody's lower back pain, but it's one of the main ones that I see all the time. So one of the first things is to stretch out your hip flexors, okay? So a couple of ways you could do this. You're going to come onto one knee, try and create a right angle with the front knee and a right angle with the back knee. And then what you're going to do is you're going to tuck that pelvis forward. So you're putting yourself into that tilted position where you want to be, and then you're going to lunge forward slightly into that front knee, and you should feel it all across here. Now, the mistake that some people make with this particular one is they don't do that little tuck. So if I don't do that, I can lunge a lot further forward, but I might not necessarily be getting a stretch right across that hip flexor. I might feel it more down here, I might not even feel it at all. So by tucking and rolling your pelvis underneath into that position and then lunging forward, you're going to get a real good stretch all through that hip flexor there. And you want to hold it for your sort of 10, 15, 20 seconds, and then you're going to switch over to the other leg, and you're going to do the same again. And you maybe want to repeat that 3-4 times. Now, if you have very tight hip flexors, you can do that on a daily basis. Do it before your workouts, try and loosen that off. So that is the first thing that you want to be doing on a regular basis, is stretching those out. Because if they're incredibly tight, it's pulling that pelvis forward and it's going to be hurting your lower back.
Oh, I gotta take a break.
Do you need
I just gotta take a break. I'm so sorry.
Can I help you to the side of the room?
Yeah, can you pull me?
Yeah, sure.
My
Okay.
back gets like locked.
It's okay, come on.
Next up, it's going to be working on your core, in particular lower abdominals, and engaging your core properly. Now, chances are, if your pelvis is tilted, you've got that excessive arch, you're going to struggle to engage your core. So, one thing you can do is on a cable machine, using a pad, any type of pad, so this is one that you'd use for sort of hamstring curls, and wrap it around your ankle. Clip it on there. Don't need any weight on the stack because it's not to do with the resistance. What you're going to do is you're going to take that pad and you're going to place it under your lower back where that arch is in your back. And then you're going to lay on top of it, like so. And the idea being, you have to press down and engage your core so this doesn't happen. It comes flying out and hits back. So, with that pad under there, if I crunch up, that's now engaged. So crunching my shoulders off the ground, that's going to help flatten out my lower back. I'm going to hold that there, and you can already feel your core engaging. For some people that might be hard enough, so hold it in that position, feeling your abs, are they tensed? Pressing that down, hold it there for like 30 seconds. If that's too easy, then you want to bring both legs off the ground, hold there again, see how that is. If it's struggling, you can feel your back going, keep holding it there for 30 seconds. All the tension should be through your core, not through your back. Then, if that's easy, then you're going to move on to lowering one leg down, keeping that chest crunched up, and the other one. You can do about 20 repetitions, keeping that pad pressed into the ground. You should really feel it engaging through your core, keeping your back nice and flat. So, about 20 repetitions on there, and again you want to do about 3 sets. So that is a good core engagement one. Next one is going to be glutes. So trying to strengthen your glutes is going to help, again, pull that pelvis back and take any pressure off your lower back. So using a resistance band, one that's small enough to loop around your knees. This one here is a slingshot, so it's a pretty strong one. By Mark Bell. If you Google the brand, you'll see it. So you're going to pop that over your legs, so the band is above your knees. Then what you're going to do is laying flat on your back, and legs about shoulder width apart, and you're going to be constantly keeping tension against the band. So it should feel like the band is trying to pull your knees in together. So keeping that tension. And it should feel like the band is trying to do this, so I'm trying to force my knees out against that band. Okay, head flat down, legs shoulder width apart, drive through your heels, drive your hips up. Keep that tension against the band, really squeezing your bum at the top, so you should feel it all through your bum. You might feel it through your hamstrings a little bit as well. Back down, up, squeeze, again, tilt that pelvis, drive it forward, really squeeze your glutes. Hold it there for 2 seconds, back down, up, hold for 2 seconds, up, hold for 2 seconds, back down. And you want to do about 30 repetitions there, so I'll show you from here. So up, squeeze my glutes, driving the hips forward, back down, squeeze, drive forward, back down. And that is how you can engage your glutes as well and strengthen those. So there's 3 pretty simple exercises. 1 stretching out your hip flexors, 1 strengthening your core, and 1 strengthening your glutes. Now, if you was to do that consistently, if your pelvic tilt is quite bad and your lower back pain is quite bad, then you can do that pretty much every single day. I would definitely recommend doing it before you do your workout, warming up your glutes, getting your core engaged. And if that is the reason why you have the back pain, like I said, that is not the only reason why people have back pain, but if that is the reason why you have back pain because you have that excessive overarch, so excessive through there, instead of it being in that neutral position. So there's the excessive overarch, and there's the neutral position. If you have that, then doing those things are 100% going to help. What's happening, everybody? So back home now after training. Been at work, trained clients ever since, and I thought I'd give you guys a little update on like home life and the baby situation. So finally starting to get into a bit of a routine. So she's a month old now, so she's been around for 4 weeks, and it's taken quite a while to get ourselves into a routine. I'm not going to lie. Things have been like massively up in the air. I think in that 4 weeks, I think I've only had 2, maybe 3 home cooked meals. We've been living off like ready-made things, like I can't remember what they're called, but trying to pick the healthiest ones possible, and then like just like more takeaways than we normally would have. So like, you know, even though I'm into this, into fitness and stuff, like there's even periods of time where, you know, everything goes out the window. Haven't been training as much as normal. Get down, dog's jumping up. Haven't been training as much as normal, and like diet and stuff's just been a bit more all over the place. And even though I recommended to everybody, do not go in the Easter sales and consume and in the Easter egg sales and get lots of half price. Dog's being a bit cheeky. Get some half price or less Easter eggs and buy a load and then just have them in the house because they're cheap. I did recommend to everybody not to do that, but guess what? We did that. So because Katie had gestational diabetes, after she'd finished her pregnancy, she opened those floodgates of chocolate, and they haven't quite closed yet. And I just kind of joined in on the bandwagon with that, and actually have just finished eating a Kinder Bueno bar, because she texted me when I was on my way home from work, when I was just about to leave work, asking if I would stop and get some chocolate. So I caved, and that brings me on to another point. But first, so Maggie settled in well. Get down. No. Maggie settled in well. Sleepless nights have started to kick in. She's suffering like with gas and stuff at the moment, which has sort of been keeping her up a bit. So sleep isn't as good as it was at the beginning, but still so much different to our first. Like amazing how different these two babies are, and really annoying in the background. You're gonna hear the dog playing with his squeaky toy, so really irritating. So yeah, going back to the food and stuff, and it's always very hard. See, I'm not trying to lose weight or anything at the moment. Like I'm not really that bothered about body composition, etc. But if you are, and you live in a household where you're married or you have a partner or whatever, and they're not interested in dieting or losing weight or changing the way that they eat, it can make it incredibly difficult for you yourself to be able to stick to that. If you're trying to make a change and they're not bothered about changing whatsoever, so they're bringing things home which are more tempting for you, and make your situation harder, then that can be an incredibly difficult scenario to be in, because it's constantly testing your willpower. So I always say to clients, maybe you need to sit down with your other half or whatever and explain to them how it might be affecting you, that they're not taking what you're trying to do seriously, or by them doing certain things around you, it's making it harder for you to stick to what you're trying to do and get results. And I know that that can be incredibly difficult, because like I said, even tonight she said to me, can you bring home some chocolate? And I was just like, do you know what, I'm going to have some as well. But I know for a fact if she hadn't texted me that, there's no way I would have stopped off and picked up that stuff. But it's only because it was planted in my head. So it can be incredibly difficult when one of you aren't and one of you are trying to diet and lose weight. Look, you need to just have a conversation and try and find that even ground where you both have an understanding, because I know it can be really difficult. But yeah, anyway, thought I'd check in with this, give you guys a quick update on how things are going on here at home in terms of the baby. And that brings today's vlog to an end. So hopefully you will find the lower back stuff useful. Maybe you can implement that into your training. And just giving you a quick update. So I will see you in the next one.
So she's got a sore neck. She's gonna soak it.